Hey guys, today we're going to take a look at WEN's 3 by 21 inch belt sander. It's a single fixed speed at 820 feet per minute. Like its description, it takes 3 by 21 inch belts, and it's got a 7 amp motor on it. So it's a good economical option. We're going to take a closer look at what it's got to offer and how it performs. Alright, so here's a close-up of the sander. It's got a pretty standard belt sander configuration. You've got your motor up here in this housing, and it's got a drive sprocket right here, and you can see there's a little, it's actually all metal in there, for the drive sprocket at least, and down here you've got metal as well for the main drive belt sprocket. And so then your drive belt assembly is, in here, and I believe there's two gears in here that drives from one to the next, and you've got your main belt drive there. One really nice thing about this, I was looking, they've got a full illustrated parts breakdown in the manual. I don't think a manual is included with the tool, but there's one online you can find really easily. I might have just lost the one that came with the tool, actually. I don't know. But anyway, so the manual has a full parts breakdown, and it's actually got part numbers for some of the more common points of failure I'd assume you'd be having. So you've got part numbers for the bearings, and they're actually really cheap. I went and found them, online for under $10 each for these bearings. So if you just have one of those fail, you can replace them, $5-10. Although tool price at $40, it might be better just to buy a spare and have replacement parts. Anyway, so I liked having the full parts breakdown there. Features that you've got your impeller up here as well. It's attached to do dust bag, dust collection, and this is on there pretty well. It's got some little detents on the sides here. It's a weird form factor though. It's rectangular with curved edges, so you're not going to find. I don't think you're going to find a shop vac adapter for this. So you're stuck just using this or making your own custom shop vac adapter. You've got on the front right here, you've got your tracking adjustment, so when you've got it turning, you just turn this knob one way or the other and it'll send the belt back and forth. You can get it nice and lined up with the contact plate. Down here, you've got your quick toolless belt release. You can pull this off, and you can see the contact plate right here. So the contact plate doesn't go quite as far as I'd like here on either end. You can see your drive assembly here. So the contact plate's a little not quite as big as I'd like. Some of the other belt sanders that are a little bit more money than this one have a little bit more length to it. 3 inches by about 4.5, 5 inches. Anyway, it is easy to get belts on and off. Quick change. It comes with one 80-grit belt pre-installed. You've got a nice rubberized drum cover right here. This is more of a plasticky feel because it's got to slip back and forth when you're doing tracking. It is domed to do some degree of getting it lined up and keeping it straight. The way the physics work with the belt tension and everything like that, it has a tendency when it's domed to keep it straight. It's a pretty standard design. Then on your trigger assembly right here, it's a pretty crisp trigger pull, and you've got a lock on. You can't push this in when it's on or when it's not activated, but then you can push it in, pulling the trigger, going to unlock it. So you can lock this on and go for a while, and when you're done, you can unlock it. The front handle is not adjustable, but it is a nice big beefy grip. Some of the other ones I looked at had like a little D handle in the front that you can adjust back and forth. That's a bonus feature that's not really necessary in my opinion. And some of those D handles are really narrow, and you kind of had to get your hand crammed in there, and it wasn't a good feeling. So this is you can get this with gloves. If you're wearing gloves when you're doing this, you can get your hand around it really easily from multiple positions, however you're holding it. So I think that's a good feature. It is a little bit bulkier than some of the other ones. Some of the other ones have some of the other more expensive belt sanders have a smaller housing up top. Not a big deal. This one really gets the job done well for the price point it's at. It is not variable speed. It's a fixed speed at, I think it's 820 feet per minute, which seems pretty standard. And it does a good job of keeping a relatively even pace. It does bog down a little bit when you get it actually on the workpiece, but not significantly so. Alright, so I just put the belt on, so I'm going to do a little bit of tracking, let you see that, and then I'm going to, show you how long it takes to sand off all of this, the pencil I put on here. So I just put the belt on, so track pretty well. So I'll go ahead and show you how easily to adjust. Alright, I've got it pretty much centered between the two sides of the plate, so go ahead and get started. Oh yeah, one more thing, this does have zero clearance up to the edge right here. This whole side is flush with the edge of the belt, and the front is flush with the front of the belt. Although the front dips up, so you're going to have to tilt it forward a little bit if you want to get the very front there. Anyway, let's go. Alright, so a couple things I've noticed when using this belt sander. When you're doing up front, it really doesn't like to get much past this point unless you push down on the front handle. So it's got a little bit uneven coverage there, but nothing you can't do, take care of with a little bit of forward pressure, although the manual says, you're supposed to let the weight of the tool do its job. Other than that, I mean, it does a pretty good job of taking material off pretty quickly. And part of that's going to be the quality of the sandpaper you've got as well. I don't really notice it bogging down significantly, so yeah, it does a pretty good job. Alright, so I ran this thing for a few minutes with the dust bag on it. There's a dust bag right here. And so the impeller does a pretty good job of collecting dust, actually. So this pile right here is dust that was from the dust bag inside it. And this pile over here was dust that was lying around on the wood and the workbench, the workpiece nearby. So this is not accounting for dust that is in the air. And I'm sure there's quite a bit of that. I had a little bit in my eyes. I was blinking, but so I mean, this is that's definitely definitely over 50% dust collection. This pile is probably what, a quarter of the size of this one. So right there, that would be 80% minus a little bit for dust in the air. So maybe 75% dust collection on the WEN belt sander. So if I really wanted to get scientific, I get a kitchen scale out here and weigh the two dusts, setups and figure everything out. But I'm guessing just a quick estimation, 75% dust collection. That's without a vacuum or anything like that. And once again, you're going to be hard pressed to find a vacuum adapter for this port right here. It's a really weird size. It's not even rectangular. It's got a curve to each of these. Actually, each face of these has a curve. So you'll have to do a custom fit one or duct tape something on if you're going to make an adapter for it for a shop vac. That's the big complaint I have about this is you can't hook it up to a shop vac unless you make a custom adapter. So anyway, dust collection is pretty decent for a good economy belt sander though. Alright, so wrapping up, this is a great economical option if you need a belt sander, you just need to get one or two jobs done. This is the one you want to pick. There are other options out there that are quite a bit more expensive. This one's got the competitors beat by about 25 to 50% for probably what's in the same quality range. If you want to get if you're going to be doing this long term, you've got a lot of projects for a belt sander, you might want to look at something that's variable speed, that's a little more adjustable and adaptable. But this one, for the fixed speed market, this one's, It's a good, get-her-done belt sander. So I haven't used it long-term yet, so I don't know if there are any reliability issues that I haven't seen, but so far I've been pretty happy with its performance. So hopefully this review was helpful. Let me know if you have any questions in the comment section below, and once again, don't forget to subscribe.